Hello everyone, it is that time of year again. We are here for the annual Nostalgia Junkies Justin version first round NFL mock draft for 2024. I'm going to try it out in my truck and see how it goes this year. Probably better turn the air down, my bad. So let's see. Not going to take a whole lot of time. I think this video may come out first, so Wesley and I actually got together and filmed our first 10 picks each. So we haven't done that in like 4 years, so that's fun. Be on the lookout for that. Hopefully it'll be uploaded tomorrow. And so I won't spend too much time on my top 10 since there's a whole other video about it, but I'll just kind of breeze through. And I'm nervous because of trades. It kind of seems like there's going to be chaos in the top 10, but then is it all smoke and mirrors? We don't know. Tons of smoke screens going on, tons of rumors. You just don't know what's true and what's not, and which team's trying to get leverage. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. And this is an easy pick. We have the Chicago Bears taking Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. This pick was made probably last year. Caleb's a really good player. He gets a lot of comparisons to Mahomes, which probably isn't fair to anybody. I do think it's pretty cool how the Bears have set up around him and actually given him a chance at success. Unfortunately, it kind of seems like that didn't so much happen for Justin Fields. So we'll see. The Chicago Bears have never even had a 4,000-yard passer. So I think Caleb Williams could actually surpass that in his rookie season. So I wish him health, and we'll see how that goes. So next, we have the Washington Commanders, and I'm going with Jayden Daniels. Yeah, make sure I'm looking at the right one here. Jayden Daniels. I did 2 where I did 2 completely different things. I've kind of pounded the table for Jayden for a while when Drake May was considered number 2. It happened so early, I almost swung back around and I almost put Drake May 2. Just because so many guys are convinced that he's better, and I think it has to do with projection with arm talent. But I think Jayden Daniels brings so much athleticism. If he can learn not to take the big hits, I mean, I think that evens out, even if Drake May could throw it a bit better. But Jayden Daniels' accuracy is amazing. So I would go Jayden Daniels to the Commanders. Number 3, we have New England. And my dilemma here was, do you take Marvin Harrison, or do you trade down, or do you take a quarterback? I just think it's harder to get your franchise quarterback, so I didn't overthink it. I just said Drake May, QB from North Carolina. And, you know, if Drake May were to go number 2, maybe the Patriots just take Jayden Daniels and this mock draft doesn't get too messed up. We'll see. So anyways, number 4 is where I start taking a big risk, and I have the Arizona Cardinals trading up to select. It's the Arizona Cardinals pick. I have Minnesota trading with them. So Minnesota is giving up pick 11 and 23. I'm only doing what's considered in the first round. Obviously, there'd be other picks needed to pull that off, I would assume. So I have Minnesota jumping up to number 4, taking J.J. McCarthy. It looks like their competition could be the Giants, but it's definitely also the Broncos and Raiders. So it's kind of like a peer pressure situation. How high do they need to go to get their guy? They're the ones with the capital to pull it off if they choose. And I do think Arizona should maybe just sit there and take Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that's what I would do, especially when they have so many picks already. But their GM has made it clear that he's ready to will and deal for whatever reason. So I guess he doesn't have enough picks, or enough picks in the first round or something. So, and we'll see. It could just mean nothing. But for now, I'll have Minnesota jumping up to 4, taking J.J. McCarthy, quarterback from Michigan. And so that would mean the quarterback went 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be the first time in history. All right, number 5, we have the Los Angeles Chargers with Jim Harbaugh. I really wanted to trade out of this spot with Minnesota. So really the recent rumors, if I get this wrong, it's because the recent rumors end up getting me. Because originally I had the Chargers trading out with the Vikings for a similar trade. But I'm going to have the Chargers sit still. I wanted to pick an offensive lineman, but I just think Marvin Harrison's too good to pass up in this scenario, and we don't know if he'll actually be here. So again, this could get pretty messed up. But okay, so I have the Chargers taking Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, Ohio State. Number 6, we have the Giants. I just have them sitting there and taking Malik Neighbors, wide receiver from LSU. And all of a sudden the Giants become a more enticing place if they get a quarterback next year. And I'm rooting for Danny Dimes. Hopefully he'll get it together. Number 7, Tennessee Titans, the most boring pick in the draft. I have Joe Alt, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. It's only boring because it's predictable and it's not a quarterback. So Caleb Williams is the only other more obvious pick, but quarterback's more fun. So, all right. Number 8 would be my Atlanta Falcons, but this is the only reason I really moved out of that spot with Arizona is because now that they have picks 11, 23, and 27, and like a multitude of others, I don't think they'd have to trade up that much. They're sitting at 11. They're going to trade up with Atlanta in this scenario. And Arizona is going to trade not even a first rounder, just maybe give a second or third, something, just whatever it takes just to move up just to 3 spots. Yeah. And have Arizona taking Rome Odunze, the wide receiver from Washington. Most people have said the Cardinals just need to get at least one of the top 3 wide receivers. In this scenario, they get more picks. Maybe they don't have a strong feeling on which one's the best. Maybe they're happy to get any of the 3 and just pick up more picks. And, that is one way I could see them actually looking really smart in the scenario. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the safe pick, but if they do this, I still think they come out looking good. And, of course, I'm a Falcons fan, so I'm always throwing Atlanta's name out there just because I know them the best. But the interesting thing about that, though, is that leaves Chicago at number 9. We haven't had a defensive player taken. I have a feeling that Chicago actually likes Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner always gets mocked to Atlanta at 8, and it very well could happen when the draft happens. But if Dallas Turner is there, I actually think Chicago will take him, the edge from Alabama. So, number 10, we have the New York Jets, and I've been so iffy on if they'll actually do this, but I have them taking Brock Bowers, the tight end from UGA. Brock Bowers, I'm a Georgia fan. He's like on our Mount Rushmore of players. If you haven't watched Georgia or just don't pay attention to tight end, this guy can just do everything. In my opinion, he's the best tight end to ever come out of college. He's the only 2-time Mackey Award winner, and he should have won it his freshman season. He actually had better numbers and won the national championship of that year compared to whoever actually won it. I don't even remember. But, Brock Bowers was better in every single way, so I don't know if they just made up for it or what later, but he should have had 3 is the crazy part. So I think Aaron Rodgers may want another weapon, or maybe the Jets just want to give him another weapon because they're kind of going all in this year. We don't know if they'll even have Aaron Rodgers beyond this year, really. So, go for it. Number 11, we now have Atlanta picking here. It started as Minnesota's pick, then it became Arizona's pick. Now it's Atlanta's pick. And I have Atlanta taking the player I want them to pick, which is Laiatu Latu, the edge from UCLA. I think he's got the best tools in the whole draft. When you watch the tape, it's not a projection. He's ready right now, and we need pass rush so bad. We haven't had a double-digit sack guy since Vic Beasley, and that was a one-year thing. Before that, it was probably John Abraham over a decade ago, unless Adrian Claiborne got double digits somewhere there, and I really don't think he did. So, let's see. That leaves us with pick 12, which is the Denver Broncos, and I actually have another trade happening, and I think this is going to be my last one. I have the Philadelphia Eagles jumping up to number 12 to take Terrion Arnold, the cornerback from Alabama. If I've learned anything about the GM there, it's Howie Roseman, I think. He loves the SEC guys. They need a corner. He could jump up and get the best corner in the draft. I don't know that he's really going to jump up 10 spots because that's going to be really costly. But the thing is, I think Denver may want to trade down because I think it's a bit early to draft, Bo Nix or Michael Penix. And I just don't know who to give Denver if the top 4 quarterbacks are gone, and I'm pretty sure they will be, unless they take Nix there. But why not try to trade back? I don't think they have a second-round pick. Get some draft capital and maybe have a chance at him later, or the quarterback later. All right, so Philly takes Terrion Arnold. Number 13, we have Las Vegas Raiders. This is one of the ones I struggled with. So I went with Olu Fashanu, the offensive tackle from Penn State. I know the Raiders need quarterback as well, but again, I still think it's early. So we'll see what actually happens. For now, I've got them taking a tackle, and maybe whoever is currently playing quarterback will be protected. Number 14, New Orleans Saints. I have them taking Talise Fuaga, offensive tackle, Oregon State. I hear this guy is a mauler in the run game and does great. At that, I think New Orleans just needs a tackle just to be set a little bit better for the future. It's not flashy, but it is what it is. Number 15, we have the Indianapolis Colts. I think this is one of my favorite picks of the draft. I have them taking Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver from LSU. They want to get more explosive. The AFC South got a lot better this offseason. Just every team got better. So it's Indy's turn to take some explosive playmaker and, I don't know, just try to keep up this year because they have a good team. And it's going to be a fun division. Number 16, we have Seattle Seahawks. That was another one I really struggled with. I kind of just ignored some of the need. I know they took an edge rusher last year. His name eludes me at the moment, but I'm going to give them Jared Verse because I think at the end of the day, I have all three pass rushers, the top three, going, in this first half of the draft because that position is so valued. Even if this is an offensive-heavy draft, I don't see any of these guys falling too far. So if they do take Jared Verse, then that means the top three guys are off the board for edge. All right, next we have Jacksonville. I have them taking Quinyon Mitchell, the cornerback from Toledo, one of my favorite players that I learned about through studying this draft. I know Jacksonville probably needs secondary help. I think this is their guy, especially if Terrion Arnold's already off the board. If he's still there, that would be an option. Number 18, the Cincinnati Bengals. I have them taking J.C. Latham, the offensive tackle from Alabama. Just think it's still needed. They still need to protect Burrow. It's been a thing for a few years now. And I think this is a really good time. This is a great draft to be getting an offensive lineman, especially in the first round where they're picking. Whereas you're normally picking 18, maybe you're missing out on a whole lot of top tackles on another draft. This one you get a really solid guy. Number 19, we have the LA Rams making their first round selection since 2016 with Jared Goff. So this is exciting. I went off of what Peter Schrager kind of boldly claimed, that for sure the Rams were going to take an offensive player. I'm just going to kind of trust him on that, and I'm going to say Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback from Washington. If this happens, this will be one of the most fun picks of the draft, in my opinion, because it's a player that I really like going to a location that I really like. That could be a very big win-win. I think Michael Penix getting drafted at some random number, 26, 27, 28, he could go to a team that maybe is not as well suited to help him succeed. Whereas if he goes to the Rams, he's probably in the best spot for him, or one of the best spots. I mean, the Chiefs don't really have any openings. There'd be a good one too. So anybody who has a quarterback whisperer as a head coach, you're in good shape. All right, number 20, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Troy Fautanu, the offensive tackle from Washington. Everybody has Pittsburgh drafting offensive linemen, and I know they took Broderick Jones last year, so I think they're trying to shore up the blind side this year. Pittsburgh should be a fun team to watch. I wish they would do Hard Knocks. I'm with Rich Eisen. I think they should do Hard Knocks. 21, Miami Dolphins. I don't know why, but for some reason the Dolphins were the hardest pick for me in this whole draft. I know everybody says they need offensive linemen, but I just, maybe based on who was gone or who was available, whatever, I wasn't quite sure who to give them. So I went with Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle, Oklahoma. I kind of based that off of Daniel Jeremiah's mock, where I think he's maybe a little higher on Guyton, and I hear buzz for Guyton going higher than some people realize. So I just kind of trusted that one, trusted the experts, and we'll see what happens. So number 22, if you'll remember, this was originally Philadelphia's pick. Now it's Denver's. So I want to have Denver taking Bo Nix, quarterback from Oregon. Everybody says that's the best fit for Sean Payton's offense. At this point, maybe you get a second or third round pick. It helps you get capital. You've now got your quarterback, and he's a little cheaper too. So I would like that a lot better than taking him at 12, just being honest. And maybe Denver would too. The only thing is, will he still be there on real draft night? Who knows? Maybe he'll be there to the second round. We have no idea. Number 23, this was originally Minnesota's pick. It's now, well, it might have been the Texans' pick that became Minnesota's pick. Now it's Arizona's. So I have Arizona taking Johnny Newton, or I think it may be Juzon Newton, depending on how you pronounce it, defensive tackle from Illinois. just looking at team needs, it looks like they could really use some interior help there on the defensive line. And this guy's name is actually rushing up draft boards right now, so we'll see. Number 24, I have the Dallas Cowboys taking Amarius Mims, the offensive tackle from Georgia. Mims, I remember his high school recruitment very well. That he is massive. Didn't have a lot of experience at UGA, but every time he was out there, he looked like he belonged, or even better than that. So that's actually helped him a ton, even though he only had 8 starts in college. I can say, though, when he was in, we were looking nice. We were looking real nice. So hopefully that'll work out for Dallas. Number 25, the Green Bay Packers. I know they need secondary help, but I mostly made this pick because for some reason it just feels like a Packers pick. And I have them taking Cooper DeJean, the cornerback / safety from Iowa. I don't know why. It's just last year I had a feeling about Green Bay. I think I might have gotten their pick wrong. And looking back, I was like, I should have seen that coming. So kind of going with gut on that one. We'll just see what happens. Number 26, we have Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Have them taking Chop Robinson, the edge from Penn State. This is the guy that they said the production wasn't quite there, but all the tools are. So they're banking on projection, and we'll see how that goes. Number 27, Arizona Cardinals. I feel like I've picked a million picks for them. I have them taking offensive lineman Graham Barton from Duke. This is another guy who I hear his stock is just rising. Looking at team needs, it was just the best guess that I had. But Arizona suddenly looking like the quality has jumped up quite a bit. So hopefully they don't blow all these picks. Even if they just stick with 2, hopefully they'll nail it. Number 28, Buffalo Bills. One of the more interesting picks to me because I just love wide receivers and the Bills need one. So in this scenario, they're taking a guy that I absolutely love, Adonai Mitchell, the wide receiver from Texas, but previously from Georgia. I'll tell you this, if nothing else, Adonai Mitchell is an awesome player, an awesome guy, and he's one of the most clutch players I've ever seen. If you don't follow Georgia football, he caught the go-ahead touchdown against Alabama in the national championship. He also caught a touchdown in the college football playoff against Michigan. Then the next year, he had the game-winning touchdown versus Ohio State in that instant classic game, and then he had another circus touchdown in the national championship against TCU. So he had a touchdown in all 4 playoff games he played with Georgia. Then in the one playoff game he played with Texas, he had one of the greatest floating air, I don't know, it looks like he flew, touchdowns you've ever seen. And it's all because he mistimed his jump too. He mistimed his jump so bad and still made just an amazing catch. You should look it up if you haven't seen it. But I would love to see him go to Buffalo. I think that would be great. All right, number 29, the Detroit Lions. This was another one I kind of had trouble with. I could see them going in a lot of different ways, but Detroit's so good now. I've never seen them draft this late in my entire life that I can remember. Without trades involved, I guess I should say. I have them taking Nate Wiggins, the cornerback from Clemson. It seems like he's going to go first round. I had trouble placing him. I remember the cornerback they had from Ohio State not quite working out, so it was just the best fit I could come up with. Sorry if that one's not a great pick for Detroit, but hopefully Nate Wiggins gets picked somewhere in there, and if it's Detroit, then great. Number 30, Baltimore Ravens, who always seem to nail the draft, and somehow I'm looking and Byron Murphy II has fallen to them, the defensive tackle from Texas, and I'm like, this is my own mock, and the Ravens are still knocking it out of the park. I didn't even plan it that way. But that's what I have, man. That would be a great pick for them, even if they don't even need that. That's just what they do. They take best player available, and at this point, Byron Murphy may be, and they just play with house money. It's what they do. Number 31, San Francisco 49ers. This one wasn't the hardest pick in the world. It was just the fact that in my scenario, a lot of the great offensive linemen, that you see as first-round guys have been taken. But I have them going with Jackson Powers Johnson. I think they really need a tackle, and I think Jackson Powers Johnson is more of a center or maybe a guard, out of Oregon, by the way. But I gave him to them just because they like to build up the lines, and I could see them going in a different direction if the board falls this way. But for now, I have them taking him. And then the last pick of the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs, the 2-time back-to-back Super Bowl winners, have them taking Xavier Worthy, wide receiver from Texas. I really wish it'd be Ladd McConkey. Selfishly, I love Ladd McConkey from Georgia, but Xavier Worthy. The Kansas City, they're so much smarter than me. Like I fully trust who they draft. They seem to nail it every time, and that's why they're having so much success right now. They do need wide receiver, and I think it'll be a wide receiver. And this is a draft where I don't think you have to trade up. They're probably not getting one of the top 3 guys because that would be a big move. But if you're content to let the wide receiver ranked 4 through 11, somewhere in there, fall to you, and you're happy with any of them, it could be McConkey, it could be Worthy, it could be Troy Franklin, and it could be Keon Coleman. And Xavier Leggett. So there are so many good ones to pick from. They really can't go wrong. But I picked Xavier Worthy because, if you don't know, he set the record at the combine for 40-yard dash with a 4.2140. And I can't help it. My brain goes to Tyreek. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Tyreek. So maybe selfishly, I just want to see a guy that fast play in the system again and give them that deep threat back. They did sign Hollywood Brown this offseason, I believe, so that could mess with that. Maybe they want more of a possession guy. Maybe they want a Keon Coleman. Maybe they want an elite route runner like Ladd McConkey. We'll see, but I'm really excited. I think this is one of the few years I'm actually really excited to see who goes number 32, because by then sometimes the hype's wearing down. But no, this is such a deep draft. Like, we're still going to have a ton of fun into round 2. I don't have the energy to do a 2-round mock draft, and I'm not nearly expert enough to do that. I just listen to a lot of mocks, and I try my best every year. So I highly doubt I'm going to get as many picks right this year as I did last year. But it should be fun to find out. Feel free to give me your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure there's some teams, like if you're a fan, I probably was way out of left field. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, comment. We love the interaction, and be on the lookout for the collaborative top 10 mock draft that we did last night. That'll probably be posted tomorrow. And thank you so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you again when I do this next year.